Right then guys, how's it going and welcome back to Fantasy Football. We are into Game Week 3. The time is flying by pretty quickly. Game Week 1 had a good start. Game Week 2, I did alright. I made a very big mistake, which we will talk about shortly. But first, as always, let's take a look at my league and see how you guys are doing. The new league leader sitting top of the board, we have Bristol's FPL Elite, very appropriately named Pookie Blinders. Very good. 174 points in total, 70 points from Game Week 2. Behind him, we have Dumfries FC, Walm Orlando, Balls and All FC, Terriers. Basically, if you're on that top page, well done to you. You've had a very good start. But let's take a look at the Pookie Blinders. 70 points, as I've mentioned. Ryan and Net, Van Dijk, Wan-Bissaka, not too fantastic, but Digne, 11 points. Sterling captain, decent shout. Salah, not too big of a week for him. Trossard, I've actually not heard of him before. 7 points. Perez, Wilson, Firmino, and of course the main man of the week, Pookie, who got himself a hat-trick for Norwich against Newcastle. So, as I say, well done to you, mate. Number 1 on the board. And if I scroll down here, if you are one of the names I am scrolling past, then you are doing very decent for the start of the season. And you're certainly doing better than I am. As we scroll all the way down, you'll see me there. I got a green arrow, so I'm doing alright. 357th in the league, 48 points this week, 130 in total. So could not keep up to the heights of Game Week 1. I could have done if I'd made some changes that I should have, which I didn't. But we'll have a look at my team in a minute. One thing I will say is that if you take a look there, we do have some new entries to the league coming in to Game Week 3. So, as I've said, the league code will be on the screen somewhere. I believe I had it just here in my last video. So if you are watching this video, you haven't joined the league, then do get involved. You will be a couple of weeks behind, but as you've seen, other people are joining, and I'm sure more people will in the next couple of weeks. So, yeah, get involved. But let's take a look at my team. Right then, as I said, 48 points. It's alright. Foster and Net from Watford. I mean, he's having a bit of a mare. Watford are having a bit of a nightmare. So that hasn't worked out for me. My defence effectively was useless, except thankfully Lundstram, one of my top picks for the season, 4 million Sheffield United defender who actually plays as a midfielder, went and got himself 14 points. So that was pretty much the saving grace of my team. My midfield did alright. I got a goal for Sterling, goal for Lucas Moura, nothing for Salah and Perez, so Salah captain wasn't a great pick. Aubameyang with a goal, Origi with a point. You can see there, if you remembered my last video, I actually didn't make any changes, decided to save my transfer so I could make 2 this week. And basically, I didn't even follow my own advice, because last week, if you saw the video, I said this. And then I'm looking at Pookie from Norwich. And you know what? I actually don't think that's a bad shout. Norwich's first Premier League game back at home. I can easily see him grabbing a goal. It's very, very possible. And yeah, honestly, just so deflated. Not only were Norwich scoring goals against my own team, Newcastle, but every time it went in, it was the player that I specifically said last week was going to be a good shout. And I didn't put him in. I missed the hat-trick. And now everyone and their dog is sticking Pookie in their team for Game Week 3. Which is just so frustrating. Hopefully some of you guys might have watched the video and thought, oh yeah, he makes a good point, I'll stick him in, because I didn't even listen to my own advice. So I'm so angry about that. But anyway, we can only move on. As I said, I still got a green arrow. It could have been much better. 17 points better off if I had put him in. So it is disappointing, but we'll move on to game week 3. Let's take a look at what transfers I'm looking at. So in terms of transfers for me, I've obviously got a few different options. I do have 0.5 million in the bank still, which is obviously a big help, and I've got 2 free transfers. Is it worth making a third? Possibly. The thing that's so frustrating even further is that if you haven't put Pukki in your team yet, he's already shot up from 6.5 million to 6.8 million because everyone has gone and put them in their team, which means that I can afford him at this current time. Again, actually, if we take a quick look at the status, yeah, most moved in player Pukki, 742,000 people have put Pukki in their team, which is mad. De Bruyne is one of the highest put in as well, along with Martial. Lundstram, there you go. You see, I do give some good ideas sometimes. But if we take a look at my team again, as I say, Pukki is now 6.5 million. Will he go on and continue scoring loads of goals? Very possibly. But one thing I will say is that Norwich have got Chelsea, then they've got West Ham away, and then they've got Man City. So I wouldn't say, he scored a goal against Liverpool, which is why I said he's a decent shout for Newcastle at home. Newcastle aren't great, even I'll admit it. Chelsea did concede 4 to Man United, so who knows if he could grab some more. Because I've made the mistake of not putting him in first time round, I'm almost tempted to gamble on the fact that he won't do it again, but that is going against what I've always said, which is follow the informed players. And if I don't put him in now at 6.8 million, it's highly likely he could score another 2 goals and he'll be worth 7 million very soon. So it's up to you guys, but one thing I will say is that a lot of people are putting this guy in. But if you watched my video last week, you'll already have him in, so you don't have to worry about it. So that's kind of one option. My other option would be, let's take them out. You cannot look past at the moment what Rashford and Martial are doing at Manchester United. Martial 14 points so far, you can see he's gone up in price. Rashford 19 points so far, and I mentioned this last week, just the fact that Lukaku was gone, Rashford looks like he's becoming the main man up top, kind of interlinked with him, Martial right, left, James as well, those front 3. I don't think Rashford is a bad shout, and they play Crystal Palace at home this weekend. Easily see 1 or 2 of them grabbing a goal. Which one do you put in? Who knows? Again, it's tough. But the problem is we're putting Rashford in as I've got a free money up elsewhere, and then I'm looking at potentially removing Perez just to get in a cheaper midfielder. Although, to be fair, Douglas Luiz does play the majority. He played in the last game for Aston Villa and he got 9 points. So it's very possible he could play again against Everton on Friday night. So, I've got 2 options there. Do I run with the Pukki route that everyone's going for, or do I gamble a little bit and maybe touch into the Rashford or Martial route? I'm not going to decide just yet because you never know what's going to happen in the next couple of days. Maybe someone will get injured, something will happen. Obviously, if you wanted Pukki at a cheaper fee, you needed to do that on Monday night. It's now Wednesday. People have already thrown him in. He may even still go up in value, though. So if you do want him, do it quicker than maybe I'm going to. There's definitely a transfer coming. Is it Pukki? Is it Rashford? It'll be one of the 2. Let me know down below which one you think I should go with. As I've said, I always say follow the trend. In practice, both Rashford and Pukki are both looking good. So either way, I'm following the trend with both of them. But as I've said, everyone is putting Pukki in right now. Do I take a side step and try and do something clever, or do I just follow the crowd? I'm actually tempted towards the Rashford, but I also think it's because I made the mistake of not putting him in last week. I need to justify that decision by not doing it now because I've already missed what was a huge points from him Am I justifying it to myself by not picking him now in the hope that he doesn't score this weekend? Probably. Alright, but let me know down below what you think of that. Are you going to put Pookie in? Is everyone putting him in? Let me know down in the comments below and let me know how you are doing in the league so far. And as always, if you've got any top tips for the week of players to put in, then make sure to let me know. I'm always happy to take the help of you guys as well. Alright, but as always, thank you for watching. Drop a like on the video, subscribe for more fantasy football. Have a great weekend, and I'll catch you later.